support, turn me up. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Tech support, turn her down.
What?
Actually, turn her off.
Wait, what?
Turn her off.
Hello, world.
Hello, hello, hello.
Why you got hate in your heart at the beginning of the show? We didn't even say the weekly delight yet, and you trying me.
Because
Who pooped in your cereal?
everybody.
Lord, I can't with you today. Well, listen, you're here with me now, darling. Podcast day.
Yeah.
Me?
Me?
I can't. Okay, whatever. Well, I'm happy. You want to know why?
I guess so.
Because done with our season.
But why does it make you happy?
Because we accomplished something. We made it through.
Okay, you can be happy for that.
Exactly. So today is episode 13, but next week is our last episode for season 1. And then we'll go on a 2-week break, and then we'll come back with season 2.
And how many episodes will we drop?
Yes.
Season 2?
When we do seasons, we drop 3 episodes, so you get an instant binge to make up for that, itch, that scratch, that fiending, because you're going to miss us so much for 2 weeks. So we give you something to binge. That's how we do it. You ready to start our show?
What's our topic today?
Well, girl, we got to go to Weekly Delight first. See, you all over the place. We're going to work with you. We're going to pray. Dear Jesus, let us make it through this episode without me being too petty with this child, because I foresee, Lord, that the petty is about to get strong. And I said that loud and clear. Strong today. Please, just please, a sense of calm over me today, Lord. In your holy name we pray. Amen. No? You're not going to? No amen?
Not for you.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? I feel blessed. So, all right, Weekly Delight. Weekly Delight is usually where we pick a person, place, a thing, an inspirational quote, just something that we want to talk about that is making us happy. I hope you got a Weekly Delight, because you acting like you don't. That's getting us through the week, keeping us motivated, and keeping us happy. Should I start with you?
Why can't you start with me?
Because you said everybody pooped in your cereal.
Today?
Okay, you're right. You're right. I stand corrected. What is your Weekly Delight?
I went to my happy place.
Oh, look at her perking up. Okay. What's up? Where's your happy place?
Universal Studios in Harry Potter Land. That's not what it's called. The true Universal Studios Orlando pass holders will get me for calling it
about that. It's
Harry Potter Land, but it's Harry Potter Land.
It's Universal of Harry Potter. Yes.
It really is.
Yes. Okay.
For me, that's what it is.
So you know what? I'm going to put myself out there. I've never been to Harry Potter Land. No, but listen, so tell me what's cool about Harry Potter Land. Like, okay, sell me on the vacation to go see Harry Potter Land. What's there?
All I should have to tell you is it's Harry Potter Land. That in itself.
I know they got butterbeer.
Yes.
Have you had it?
Yes.
Is it good?
It's delicious.
Is it something kids can drink?
Yes, there's no alcohol in it.
Ah. Okay, so what else
Read
is there?
the books. So there are, my happy place, why it was extra special, is I got my potato jacket. Oh.
Potato jacket?
Yes.
What is a potato jacket?
So potato jacket is, and it's in a secret spot. You have to find it.
Okay.
I may
you
let you.
You got to find food? See, I don't like this already.
No,
I got to find food?
It's not hidden, but most people don't discover it. So it's a baked potato. Huge baked potato.
Okay.
And you can get different versions. So sometimes you can get the one with like broccoli and cheese on it.
Okay.
Or you can get shepherd's pie.
Okay.
Which is ground beef and cheese and carrots and peas.
I'm like salivating over here.
It's delicious.
Okay.
And it's awesome.
So you're going just for the food?
No, I go for the shows and the ride. Well, I don't care too much for the rides. I've already ridden them.
So you don't do roller coasters?
No, I'm old.
Okay, well, I'm not. Wait, you don't do roller coasters?
No, not anymore. I get motion sickness now.
What?
Ever since I got in a car accident, I get motion sickness unless I eat a lot of salt or I take medicine, and it's not worth it.
Oh, that's a shame. You're missing out.
I know.
Okay, so Harry Potter Land. Maybe I need to check that out. Tech support, take me, please, so I can see it, so I can then come and talk about it. Because if it don't, live up to the hype that you say it is, I will call you out on the air.
No. So my brother, he's a Harry Potter freak like I am.
Okay.
So we took, maybe it was 2 years ago. We took him for the first time. I got his reaction as he walked into Diagon Alley.
Is it the younger brother or the middle brother?
This is the middle brother.
Okay.
He's my brother who, I'm tough.
Mm-hmm.
Even him, you can
girling?
see his face because he's trying not to smile, trying so hard not to smile.
Lord.
And big, child in candy store smile, bright, eyes huge.
Okay. Well, I mean, if he thinks it's gangster, then I guess I should go.
You won't appreciate as much as people who are true Harry Potter fans, but it's still awesome.
It's a bigger amusement park, and that's only one part of it.
You're fired.
I know. Tech support. you're filling in next week.
Yes.
I won't be in for episode 14. Tech support will be
because I'm locking her in the closet and she's not allowed to come out until she says nice
14.
things about Harry Potter and reads the whole series.
Yeah. Okay, so my weekly delight.
I don't want to hear your weekly delight.
You gonna hear it anyway. You know what? You're gonna hear it anyway. So I got tickets for my birthday to Something in the Water Music Festival with Pharrell Williams. So it's like 3 days in Virginia Beach. And it's got like all kind of artists. We're talking about Missy Elliott, Usher, P. Diddy, SZA. I mean, just like a bunch of artists. They got inspirational speakers, Deepak Chopra. I think I said that right, Chopra. But anyways, like inspirational speakers. They're going to have church service on Sunday. Like it's about to be like lit for real.
That sounds crowded.
Listen, I didn't get to go to Coachella. I'm probably too old for Coachella. So at least with this one, I can feel like I belong because that was like my music, you know, when I was in high school and middle school. So it's probably going to be people my age going to it, trying to relive, you know, the 2000s and 1999. So this is like our Coachella. Like if you're in your 30s or above, this is your Coachella, and you won't feel out of place because those little Thundercats with they, you know, jumpsuits and booty shorts and all that, they ain't gonna be running around. It's gonna be like us out there, grown and tired from the heat, but we are listening to great music. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be lit. Like I'm super excited. Like that was my music. Matter of fact, I even lived in Virginia. So when those artists were coming out, you know, we heard it first. We were the ones that got to experience that music. And we got to hear, you know, Missy, I Can't Stand the Rain and Super Duper Fly. Come on, you don't remember that? Oh my God.
I remember that.
You back.
The music is wonderful.
Okay.
It's being out there with all them people
I'm sure there's going to be tents. I'm sure. And it's north. I'm sure it's not like Florida, you know, where it's like really, really hot. I mean, it's going to be, I'm sure.
Don't bother me. The amount of people bother me.
Oh, okay. Well, I can't help it. If you're claustrophobic, this is probably not the event for you, but I'm excited.
I'm happy that you're excited.
And
I'm even
happier
that you're taking tech support.
Yeah, I know, right? Because that's the only person I'm allowed to take. Speaking of which, I had a lovely trip. It was great. Just thought I would rub that in your face. Figured I would, you know.
Next season, it'll be Ms.Glam and someone else.
Ooh, stay tuned.
I got to find her replacement.
Anyway, we're moving on. Are you ready for the topic?
Yes.
Okay, so the topic today is, would you catch a case for your kids? Again, would you catch a case for your kids? So let me put the disclaimer out there because you're looking at me like, what in the hell are we? You had that look. I see it. So pretty much, if y'all know Full House Aunt Becky, anywho, Aunt Becky and Felicity Huffman from Desperate Housewives were charged by Boston Federal Court with conspiracy to commit mail and honest service fraud. But apparently they ended up being a part of this large college cheating scam, and it's like the largest in the U.S. history. They spent thousands of dollars to ensure the admissions into college and universities for their children. So clearly, they are willing to take a case for their kids. Would you?
No.
Okay, yeah, I wouldn't either. I'm saying you're going to figure it out.
No, I'm too pretty to go to jail.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. I don't know. I ain't ready.
They caught a case, hurting career. Like, there's a whole host of things that's going wrong there. And, I mean, I know you love your kids, but is it worth it?
Right. So where do we draw the line? You know, because you're trying to do right and help your kid, but is it helping your kid or is it hurting your kid when you do these type of things? So where do we draw the line? What are your thoughts?
I mean, I think in this case, I think it's more hurting your kid than helping your kid.
Right.
Because what you're teaching your kid in this instant, the intent behind it is you don't have to do the work to get or to be successful. Money solves all your problems.
You're molding soft kids.
Yes. Because you may not get into the school you want to, but if you write the essays, if you do what you're supposed to, you get the grades, you'll get into a college.
And that's also prepping you for life.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Mommy and daddy aren't supposed to bail you out every time. They're always going to care. Their house is always open. But how I say it is, as an adult, the biggest compliment I can give to my parents is actually making it.
Exactly. But not just that. So I know my parents, I do feel that they're a safety net. If push come to shove, I can rely on them.
Sure.
But I think the reason why I can rely on them is because they know I will not ask unless it's last resort.
Yeah, I would never ask my parents. I mean, I don't want to talk about what I'm gonna do if I have to, make ends meet if it get really, really bad. But they did their job. They raised me. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm out the house. Once I'm out the house, you're not supposed to come back. And when you have them that young and you train them to, when something instantly go wrong, they start turning to you, Mom, Dad, how you gonna help me? That what do you're never going to leave the house.
Exactly. You're raising kids to be dependent on you, and at some point, you're not going to be there to help them.
Right. Exactly. One day you're not going to be around. Heaven forbid, we don't want to, wish that on anybody, but heaven forbid that happens. What are they going to do?
And I think I think because I know at some point I'm not always going to be there to pick up or make things better. That is what strives me to make sure that my niece has what she needs to be successful without me.
Absolutely.
If I make her dependent on me, I'm doing a disservice, because what happens when I'm not there?
Right. Here's how I look at it. As a parent, I'm not a parent, but if I was a parent, that's my money. I earned that. I did my job. Get out, earn your own. That's not your money. You know what I mean? My job is to teach you how to make that money. My job is to teach you how to take care of yourself. My job is to teach you how to be a good, productive citizen in the world so you can do what you need to do and move on. You know what I'm saying? I want you to be whatever you want to be. And I want to instill that drive in you, that hustle in you, to do anything you want to do and not have limitations. The I can't needs to come out your vocabulary. I can do anything. You should feel almost invincible.
The butterfly metaphor. You know how they always talk about how
Explain the butterfly metaphor.
A butterfly starts as a caterpillar and they go in a cocoon, and they have to struggle to get out.
Okay.
And the butterfly that struggles to get out is able to fly and, and live longer than the butterfly who struggled to get out, but someone saw it struggling and decided to help it get out of the cocoon. And now it can't, its wings aren't strong enough to fly. So I've always looked at that metaphor as in helping to gauge, am I removing too many obstacles? Because there are things that, yes, as a parent, depending on how old they are, yes, you have to step in sometimes to help them.
Yes, especially when they're young. I understand that. Absolutely.
But you have to gauge that, and your kid better than anyone else.
But doing it and guiding them is two different things, and I think that's where the confusion lies. Guiding them, even starting it out like, okay, here's how you do it. Now your turn. You know what I mean? Like, do that. Like, if you're gonna do it for them, then in turn make them copy to do what you're doing, so that way next time it's like, okay, now you try. You know what I mean? But guiding them and doing it for them is two completely different things, and I think parents get it confused. And it's not to bash parents, and if that's how you want to parent and you disagree, it's not here to bash anyone. The point we're trying to make with it is,
are you helping or you hurting?
Are you helping or are you hurting? Have you really delved into it? It's not to say that you don't love. I think it's all love. Like, for instance, these two women, they clearly love their child. That's not a doubt. The fact that they're about to risk their careers, risk their lives, and not just them, all the other parents that are involved in this scandal. Because, again, it was a big scandal. I think it was, 50?
It was a lot of...
I think it was like between 40 and 50 other people that were charged. How they showed their love might be different from the average. They went a little extra to the point to where they're now going to possibly get jail time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to do all that.
I know I'm not going to do all that.
It's like the song, I'll do anything with love, but I won't do that. Hell to the no. You pointed out an article, and I wanted to bring that up just because of the terminology and get into some of the effects. So it was a recent New York Times article, and it's called How Parents Are Robbing Their Children of Adulthood. And pretty much what they're saying is this new wave of teaching with affluent parents, they're calling these affluent parents snowplow parents. And the reason why is because they are pushing obstacles out of the way for their kids regarding their future. And like how we're talking about, they're literally
clearing the path
for them. I wonder, and I didn't see that in the article, I wonder if these parents, have a vision for the kid that they didn't really ask their kid, do they want it? That's one. Like, is this your vision or their vision? Like that, the article didn't talk about that, but that's a good point. I wonder, are these parents seeing that? But the article was pretty much saying that these parents, when they're snowplowing, moving these obstacles out the way, doing the things for them to ensure a successful future for them, their side effects. Their kids have side effects, and it can include an anxiety, and they lack problem solving skills. So when they get out into the real world and you put them in this successful, air quotes, situation, the ideal life, if something goes awry,
At some point, something goes awry.
they don't know what to do because they're so used to their parents doing everything. It's not bashing. They're just saying that research is showing that when there are parents that are snow plowing or parents that are doing everything for them. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think that these parents are really tapping into what their kids want when they do these things?
I think it's probably a combination of the two. I know in the article, one of the mothers was saying that her son wanted to be in the arts and was, doing like trying to figure out how to get him in the best art school, like doing everything to remove every obstacle so they didn't experience disappointment.
Mm-hmm.
Disappointment is part of life.
Right.
It's part of life.
It makes you tougher.
It does make you tougher. So I think it does a disservice to anyone to make it seem like life does not have any disappointments. I think the approach I take with my niece is there's disappointments. She goes through them, but I'm here. I'm here. I'm the shoulder to cry on. I'm the person who's going to be in your corner. I'm here to support you. But things do happen.
Mm-hmm.
You have to make lemonade from your lemons. I think for me, that's a better lesson than life is hunky-dory, nothing will ever go wrong.
Right. Now let me ask you this. So you're saying like sometimes your niece or kids have to experience, disappointment. How often or where's that line of letting them go through the motions of experiencing disappointment, and when do we say, okay, but I got to step in here? Where's that line drawn?
I think it depends on the situation and, the age of the kid. I think where me and my niece's mother kind of take it is in adult situations, dealing with adult things. That's when we step in. When it's kid to kid, she has to deal with that. It's kid to kid. She's the kid. It's not our place to step in. We give her advice, but she needs to handle that.
Okay.
But when it's things like involving other adults, like school stuff of involving other adults or parents of kids, yes, we get involved. But when it's, she said something about me and now I'm mad at her, no, we can give you advice, but I'm not calling her mama because she don't like you today.
Right.
So
we're not going to be petty, even though we are. We're not going to be petty.
Let's be honest. So when I see kids, name calling or things like that to my niece or me and her mom on the side going, oh, I want to wring that kid's neck. Absolutely.
Would you fight a child?
I like to say no, but if her mom wasn't there holding me back and I wasn't there holding her back,
You might trip her.
I might. But I think that's kind of where we keep each other grounded as far as, all right, I know we can't jump in right now because we have to let her fly on her own. And thankfully, she does. She handles these situations beautifully. Like, she shocks us time and time again, which helps us to reinforce that we did prepare her.
Yeah.
But in the moment, her hurt is our hurt. I can understand. You don't want your child to hurt. It's gut-wrenching to see them hurt, especially when you could have prevented it or you could help them or make it better.
Oh, absolutely.
But if you think about long-run consequences, I'm not doing her any benefits for her by fixing it for her and not letting her experience the pain.
Right. Life has pain in it.
It does. And if she experienced it now, when she experienced those greater pains later, because right now it's little things.
Little things that are amped up to be big things.
Yes, because I get it.
Everything is major.
Everything. The world is ending.
My boyfriend just told me, oh my gosh, if she doesn't call me back, we're not friends and the world is going to end.
The sky is falling. Her life is over.
Yeah.
It is so dramatic.
And I know we were.
Exactly.
So I get it, but
going through those things, you realize as you get older, I thought the world was ending 2 weeks ago, and it didn't.
Yeah.
I thought the world was going to end, last week, and it didn't. So you get a thicker skin, you deal with it better, and you learn how to cope. And I think that's most important, is being able to cope through those situations. Because, bad things happen. And if you don't know how to cope, that's when people have those anxieties or they do things dangerous to themselves.
Right. They don't think it out. They make rash decisions, and it's harmful. Yeah.
Exactly.
Instead of thinking clearly with a clear head. I know for me, when I was growing up, My parents very much loved me. And I mean, they spoiled me, but they never spoiled me rotten as a kid. But when I got to be a teenager, and particularly even when it was time to like graduate high school, man, they laid down the gauntlet. Like I called myself saying, you know, I don't know if I want to go to school yet. I just want to find myself. And my dad was like, you got two choices. You go to military or you go to school. No, excuse me, three choices. You go to the military, you go to college, or you can get a job and get out my house. Period. You know what I'm saying? Like it was real. And I was like, well, okay. And then even like when I graduated from college, I had to move out that day. I literally woke up in my parents' house on graduation day. And by the time I finished graduation, my apartment had stuff in it. And you know what? I couldn't even pull the excuse, well, my bed ain't pulled together. Can I spend the night again? They had everything in boxes still, but my bed was made. Ain't that some shit? Ain't that some shit? And at that moment, I'm not gonna lie, I felt like they didn't love me. I was like, dang. And even like the next day, my mother called me and I thought she was gonna say, I missed you last night. You know what she said? You forgot a box. I mean, it was so real. It hurt my feelings. But you know what? It's because I didn't see the vision that what they had. I didn't see that they're like, no, you're an adult today and you have to learn to take care of bills today. This is a brand new day. You're adulting. Congratulations, you graduated from college. You're an adult now. Move on. You know what I mean? And I thank them for that because when stuff happened, I think we moved into me and my fiance, aka
I
tech support
remember.
at the time. When we moved into our apartment, literally a year later, they told us buy or move out. We didn't even know what to do. Okay, and then on top of that, so then I said, okay, we'll be a big girl. We'll buy a house. We're adults. We're married at that point. When they came to that conclusion, and we bought a house.
No, remember
Do you
that
know
too.
the day we
Via the
closed?
news.
Like a couple days later, tech support got laid off. Luckily, and I'm so blessed for him. He was so cool. He was so chill. Like he definitely grew up, where he was taught you have to figure it out. But I panicked. But I didn't panic enough to call my parents. I took a deep breath. I said, okay, we're going to figure this out. And we figured it out. You know what I mean? And, we lived happily ever after. Obviously, he got a job later on. You know what I mean? Like, it all worked out. But in that moment, it felt like my world was going to end because we had just spent our savings.
When you experienced that, did you think back to other instances where something bad had happened? Like, what made you breathe?
That day of when I had to leave my parents' house the day I graduate, I will never forget it because even though I had a place, had a job, and I had a roommate, aka tech support, I had all the makings of starting a great new life, a humble beginning. It freaked me out that I was on my own and that my parents pretty much said nicely but firmly, you handle it. Your turn. We can't help you anymore. You have to figure it out. You know what I mean? And it's not that they didn't say, they've never ever not said I couldn't come back home, but they were very firm with, you need to figure it out. And I remember that night, I panicked. You know what I mean? And I think I even cried a little bit. Like, I'm not going to lie. I mean, I was happy to be, all booed up. But, I got emotional because I was like, wow, it just got real. The fun, all the fun that you had in college, playing around and meeting people, it ended. Now it's bills and I got to cut that light out. What you mean? We're not going out tonight. No, we're cooking. We're staying in. Cut that TV off. I mean, it got real for me. So when I bought the house, okay, I felt like I was being an adult. Okay, yes, I'm going to make my parents proud. And then when it instantly got taken away, I went right back to that moment of, oh, I'm an adult. I got to figure this out. You know what I mean? So it always takes me back to that moment. For me, it was that moment. And like I said, they were firm. I didn't get it then, but as the older I got and when new situations occurred, cuz that ain't the only time, life happens. I have my moment of I freak out or, just have to digest it, but I literally just as quick as I, have that panic attack, I quickly shut it off and just solve the mystery. Like, all right, what can I do? Those problem solving skills come into play. And so for that, I thank my parents. I'm not saying in the case of these parents that have the college scandal going on that they don't love their kids. I'm just saying I'm grateful for the tough love that my parents chose to teach me, because it is true. It did teach me to try to float.
Well, and it's not just that. Like, I mean, my mother told me I was going to college. You're going to college. I knew that, and I had to figure it out. I had to apply on my own. I had to write my essay. I had to find my scholarship. All of that was done on my own. When I got in college, they slowly pulled, this bill is yours this year. This bill is yours this year. By the time I graduated college, every bill that she was still paying for me, from, cell phone bill, car note, it slowly started becoming mine. It was slow, but my parents weren't as nice as yours. My parents told me at 18, you getting out. You either get your own apartment because you have a job and I'll help you set up your apartment. You go to the military, or you go to college. But either way, you getting out. Now, I did go back home during the summers, but my mother had a rule. If you come back, you have to have check-out date.
Yes. Don't get comfortable. Don't even bring all your stuff. Do not even bring all your stuff. Get a storage unit and, bring a backpack, because you don't need what you need a shelf for. What you need that closet for? My stuff's still in. You know what? Matter of fact, when I moved out, my parents made sure I didn't come. You know how? Okay, so let me go down a little rabbit hole. So you ever watch these movies and you see people and, they come back to their parents' house and the room is like a time capsule. They got the posters from 1980 and 1970 on the wall, and the bed's still the same same little faded, comforter, and all the trophies on the wall. Hell no, my room is not mine. My bed is, matter of fact, they made me take my bed. So that's a wrap on that. But like anything I had on the wall, that's gone. It's now like my mom's closet. It's guest room / my mom's closet. It's no way in shape or form got any trace. I mean, there might be some pictures of me on the wall, but there's no trace that this is your room to be welcome to. Yeah, this is very clear. And as a matter of fact, it's not even beds. It's bunk beds, and it's uncomfortable. Like, I'm old now. I need orthopedic. It's a mattress like it'll do, but I know you ain't gonna like this mattress after a week. So figure out what you're gonna do. It is not meant for me to be comfortable. We love you, we got you, but you're here temporarily until you figure out your next move, and I need you to figure out like ASAP. Time out. You don't know where your mama is. I'm joking. But your mama moving is like, mama, I'm coming to stay. Well, find me. Like, where you at, mama?
My room was a guest room. And don't get me wrong, I stayed in the guest room during the summer. This is not your room. None of your stuff. My mama moved.
That was when you were
like,
in college.
I
That's
moved
different,
out
right? You're
when
saying
I left
the summer
for
was college, right?
Bye. And you ain't come back. You come back for the summer.
Right. That's different because you're going back to school.
Correct.
We'll help you. You
don't.
School.
You can unpack all your clothes. You can unpack your computer because I, took summer courses here. But there's no reason for you to unpack all your stuff. Just leave it in the box, leave it in the garage.
Going back to the article, it actually talked about how parents that didn't have the money, and they didn't have the means to do that, the kids ended up lucking up out that situation.
Yeah, and you try
because
harder.
It taught survival. It taught them to,
and that's it. Like, kids,
because they had no choice.
I think some of it is
their options.
Yes, but I think some of it is parents they use their own experiences, their own regrets, and they try to make sure their kids don't have those same regrets. But they're different people. Yeah. They're different people. They have to figure it out on their own. I mean, you can be there. You can be that safety net to make sure that, they understand someone's in their corner. Mm-hmm. But if you do it for them, it's robbing them of the experience. I mean, most of the things, if you think back, the things that you are most proud of, is it because someone else did it for you, or that you worked your butt off for it? You earned that.
Yeah, like I know I was very proud when I learned how to swim, because my dad just threw me in the deep end with some floaties and figured out. But I learned how to swim, and listen, I'm African American. That ain't something. That's not a trait that every African American can have. So I was very excited when I learned how to swim, because I can swim. I can save my life. And I was grateful that my dad threw me in the deep end with some floaties.
I think ultimately that's what parents want. They want the best, but sometimes you got to think about the actions that you're doing. Is it going to give your kid what you are intending?
Let's wrap this up. So what's the moral?
In the long run, are the choices you make today hurting or helping your kid? And truly, like in the case with the college scandal, what did they ultimately teach their kid? Did they teach them that hard work pays off? Ultimately, that's what I see. What they taught them is money is the answer. And in certain cases, money don't solve everything. In this case, parents going to jail, money ain't going to solve that. It's going to help you get a good lawyer. It may get you a smaller sentence, but you're going to pay the consequences. And how much money is it costing you reputation-wise, career-wise?
And if they get off, let's say in the slim chance they get off, that just taught them a whole different, like their kids are going to see like, oh, we can get away with stuff like that. Like, it's going to teach them a whole different thing. I know for me, it's like, I get that they love their children. I don't doubt the love. I don't doubt the love is equal when they give tough love or when they just want to shelter their kids from any harm that's going to happen. I think both sets of parents to have love, deep love for their children, right? And the concern is, one, are you taking a minute to realize, is it your dream or theirs? Is it your fears of what happened to you as a child that you don't want on them, and wish you could have done differently? Like, is this, you're living through your kids? Your redo, exactly. Is this your redo in life, and are you putting it on your kids? Are you really trying to shelter them? So one, really look at your intent. And if the intent somehow forms around you, and not just like your love, but if it goes back to something that happened to you and you want to redo, don't do it. And then two, realize that you might possibly be hindering them and creating individuals that are going to crumble when anything tough comes their way. And that's not good, because the world, even today, baby, I'm scared for the kids today. But we got to build them tough. We got to preserve and keep trucking. So just really think about it. It's not saying that love is not there. I'm just saying really, really think out what you're doing before you do it. Really think about the effects it's going to have on your kids, period, right?
Short-term satisfaction might be disastrous with long-term effect.
We're going to move on to my favorite segment of the day.
And you say it like you want to go first.
Petty word of the day. I will. But anyway, so petty word of the day is where we learn a pretty big word, or a new vocabulary word for us that I know sometimes I'm going to butcher. I know I'm not saying it right. But anyways, we're going to try to learn a new word, and to ensure that we get it and that you get it, we're going to put it in a pretty petty sentence. So you sure you want me to go first? Oh, snaky. All right, so my petty word of the day is kerfuffle. Kerfuffle. It is a noun, because I know you're going to ask that. What is it? It's a noun. Kerfuffle. A fuss or commotion, especially one caused by conflicting views. And you're spared this week. Tech support, it's all about you. It never fails that tech support and myself get into a kerfuffle over East Coast versus West Coast music. Clearly, East Coast is the better music, because we're going to Something in the Water Music Festival by what? East Coast. Okay, no. All right. Anyways, I tried. He's throwing up you can't see it, but he's throwing up his West Coast sign. Oh boy. Tupac was born on the East Coast, just for the record. Just a little known fact. He's a New Yorker claiming California love. So can we have that?
My petty word of the day is lachrymose. It's an adjective. Lachrymose. It means given to tears or weeping or tearful. In my pretty petty sentence, actually, I have a shout out for tech support in there too. Uh-oh. Because Mohazel is a sensitive one of the group.
I am.
In situations where Mohazel is lachrymose, I tap in tech support to let him handle that emotional shit.
You know what? I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my ish, and I don't appreciate this sentence today. I don't. It hurt my feelings.
Lachrymose.
Exactly. I concur with it. I don't like it.
You want some tissue?
Anyways, whatever. Moving on. So I enjoyed it. Did you enjoy today?
I did.
Exactly, because you know why? Little Mohazel is all you need in life. That's the moral of that story. And we're moving on. Okay. Anyways, so remember, next week is our last episode, and then we're going to take a 2-week hiatus, but we'll be back. We will drop 3 episodes. Do you have anything else to say?
Until next time.
And we are out.